everyone, I'm Becky.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering book reviews. Today we are talking about Night Music by Jenn Thorne, which I got off of Edelweiss.
Same.
Okay, and so this book is about Ruby Chertok, who is the youngest child in a family of geniuses. Her father is a famous composer, her mother is a world-renowned pianist, and each of her three siblings have thriving careers in the world of classical music. Ruby always thought that she would follow in her mother's footsteps, but after a failed audition to an elite music school, Ruby turns her back on music. Oscar Bell is a musical prodigy. At just 17, Oscar is a brilliant composer and conductor. And he is spending the summer in Ruby's house studying with her father. The two find themselves thrown together throughout the summer, and slowly Ruby and Oscar form a connection over their shared love of music that may just turn into love. So, we had very different reactions to this book. I liked it.
I wasn't a fan. It took me forever to read because I was bored. I was bored.
See, and I read it in a day, but I actually, as I was reading it, because there is so much talk about music and composers, and I'm into all that, and I know about that, but as I was reading it, I was like, if you don't know about that stuff, is it boring?
And, the thing is, I think there is a way to kind of bring in people who don't know about that. I just don't think that this did that. Because you don't see a lot of books that focus on composing, that focus on classical music. I was just super bored.
See, and I liked those aspects of it. I really liked Oscar. I thought Oscar went against every stereotype you would have figured. And, just the passion that he had talking about what he was writing. I was very impressed by that.
I did like Oscar as well. However, I didn't like Ruby. And I think this is more of a book discussion debate, but it did not she did not sit well with me because I feel like she's living for Oscar now. So originally she was living for the music and her family's kind of thoughts, and then once she kind of lost that, she gloms on to a guy, and it just it was set up in a way that she was seeking her independence and becoming who she, becoming herself. But it feels like she is now kind of only a person as it relates to Oscar. And I didn't like that.
See, I didn't see that. I saw it as her journey to try to figure out who she was. And I thought the interactions with her and her siblings were very interesting. And I thought also, I thought it was very well done. There's a part where her older sister, who's the first chair of viola, I think, a New York orchestra or something, and she's basically I was put on this track as a child. I've done everything they wanted. I want to have my own life now. And I liked that aspect of it. I liked this idea of not following the path that's set before you. And it talks a lot about, Ruby's parents had this expectation for her, and she was going to do whatever it takes, and she just couldn't do it.
And I mean, that was interesting. I never thought that Ruby gained her independence. I think I liked Jules, the friend, better. I thought she was more interesting. To be living in this world where, everybody's rich and she's not, but kind of finding her way through it and becoming this stylist, which was interesting. I don't know. And then I really loved The Wrong Side of Right, but I feel I like each subsequent book less and less.
See, I loved Wrong Side of Right, and then the second book, which name I couldn't remember, I didn't really care for. I didn't like the narrative voice in this, and then this to me felt like it was closer to Wrong Side of Right.
See, and I'm the opposite. I liked the one in between better.
Which I can't remember, what was that
and
called?
God,
I can see the cover in my head, but
I know, I can too. I mean, I do get kind of some Sarah Dawson vibes throughout, especially, when she's referring to the other books.
Well, yeah.
Which is really cool.
I do like that. Because it's all the same band.
Well, yeah. And then,
he went to the same school. And,
right.
Yeah.
And then, there's newspapers about protesters and political scandals.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. That stuff is really cool. And so I really want to like these books. And I really want to like what she does, and I think that it's there. I just don't think that this one struck me. It just didn't strike me in the right way, and that's okay, I think.
And like I said, it hooked me, and I liked the narrative voice.
Yeah.
I can't even explain. But like I said, I loved the parts where they were talking about the music.
I mean, and like I said, I'm going to keep reading her books. I just couldn't connect to this one, and But I don't think that others won't. I just don't think that, like, those band geeks are gonna eat this up. But, like, no, it didn't work for me.
So we should rate it.
Alrighty.
Our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We're down to 2 unicorns. If you don't like it, it's a horse.
I'm fluctuating between a 2 and a 3. I'll give it a 3. I mean, it's good enough, and I will recommend it to others. I didn't personally enjoy it.
I enjoyed it. I give it a 4. Like I said, to me it was a super quick read. I didn't love the end. That was the thing. There was like the last like 20, 25 pages. I was kind of like, oh. And so, but other than that, I really enjoyed it.
Just because it was so convenient?
Yes. It just didn't.
It was very convenient.
It didn't quite work for me.
Well, and then there was like that last kind of like, you knew the trajectory of like the godmother, like you knew something, but like how they wrapped that up, how she wrapped that up, I wasn't really like a fan of either.
No.
Like,
So that is where we are on Night Music. I was going to say Wrong Side of Right, but that's a different book.
This is different.
We'll see you around.
Okay, bye.
Bye.